We've got an entertaining and an interesting show for you next as we'll tell you about the Talking Information Center. That's a special radio channel for the blind. Plus, we're going to meet Bob Keeshan, Captain Kangaroo on TV for the last 24 years. Both those stories and more next here on TV4's Evening Magazine. Good evening from the aquarium in Boston. I'm Marty Sender. Our uses of radio and television channels are going to be increasing in the future. This evening, the story of a unique application of radio. It's called the Talking Information Center, and it operates on a subcarrier of an FM station in Marshfield. TIC provides a lot of very valuable information for the blind. We'll talk about that program this evening, and we'll meet some of the people blind and sighted who do the work of the Talking Information Center.
Hello, I'm Robin Young, and also this evening we have some information for you in our departments. We're going to start off with Dave Maynard, and tonight he's going to be doing more cooking than eating. Dave is going to be showing us some interesting ways to prepare roast beef, and that's in the home department. And then Dr. Jim Wasco has some information about scoliosis, while Linda Harris is still out in Portugal, and she's going to give us a listen to Portugal this evening with a listen to her own unique music. It's called Fado. And then we'll be meeting Captain Kangaroo. Now, Bob Keeshan has been delighting children for 24 years now, and he's got some really interesting thoughts about children's television. We're going to hear them as well as see the very beginnings of the Captain Kangaroo show. But first, let's go back to Marty.
12 hours a day, the Talking Information Center broadcasts a lot of information for the blind, the contents of newspapers and magazines and books, as well as consumer news. Now, this service is pretty new in New England. It started in June, but 70 other communities had a TIC program before New England. One of the women who works in the center is Karen Prendergast. Now, she lost her sight 3 years ago, and since then, the Talking Information Center has been a very important part of her life.
The best way to relate to a visually handicapped person is to relate to them as if they were a sighted person.
The Talking Information Center hopes to increase their daily programming by a third, but they'll need some help, and if you'd like to volunteer and lend a hand, call TIC in Marshfield. Their number is 834-4400. We'll be back next with some good ideas in our departments, and that's next here on TV4's Evening Magazine. We're going back to Portugal with Linda Harris on a great escape this evening, but we're going to start off our departments with Dave Maynard. He's got some interesting ways of making roast beef. Dr. Jim Wasco will talk about scoliosis, and then we'll hear Fado. That's Portuguese music, as Linda Harris shows us the nightlife in Portugal. Here's Dave to start.
To be very truthful with you, we don't eat very much beef anymore in our family. It's not price alone that does it. However, I want to tell you, when I was shopping and I saw the price of a 5-pound sirloin roast, I thought I was going to have cardiac arrest. So what I've tried to do is to come up with 3 different meals with 1 5-pound roast beef. See all the slices I have here? I have roast beef Diablo, I had a roast beef, and I had the patties that I made myself with horseradish. 3 meals, all of a sudden that price tag on the roast beef isn't as bad as I thought it was. We're coming up next, we're in the health department.
Scoliosis is a curvature of the spine that we most commonly see in children. I'm Dr. Jim Wasco, and although in many cases we don't know the cause for scoliosis, we do most commonly see it in young people, and most oftenly in people who have a muscular imbalance of one kind or another. Coming up next, we're in Discoveries.
Hello, I'm Linda Harris. You know, nightlife is an important part of any great escape. And you will find plenty of nightlife in Lisbon, Portugal, where I am having an absolutely wonderful time. There's theater, there are music halls, and many, many good restaurants. But there is one kind of entertainment that is characteristic of Portugal that you really shouldn't miss. It's the Fado. I hope that you have a very, very great escape to a lovely city.
When he was Clarabelle on Howdy Doody, Bob Keeshan said, "That show was completely beyond me. I never knew what was going on. They'd tell me to go over there and trip, and I'd go over there and trip." Well, since then, Bob Keeshan has become an authority on children's television, and we'll meet the captain next year on TV4's Evening Magazine. Captain Kangaroo is almost the only genuine children's show left on network television, and it's definitely the only one that puts the welfare of the child ahead of that of the sponsor. So said the judges back in 1958 when they awarded Bob Keeshan the prestigious Peabody Award. 21 years later, he received the same award from a different set of judges who made the same comments. Since 1955, Bob Keeshan has put his heart and soul into children's television, and today everyone knows him as the captain.
And CBS asked him to put together a new show. Here's how it started.
Now, boys and girls, CBS Television presents Captain Kangaroo and his treasure house.
If you saw an early Captain Kangaroo, you'd say, how did he ever survive? How did he ever make it out of those early days, those golden days? They weren't so golden.
There we are. We get everything dusted off and all set for everyone to come visit the treasure house. Won't be long now. The folks will be here. Yeah, we'll be ready to... Oh, say, what you doing here? Oh, it's a little early. Oh, yes, I'm sure you're early. Yes, let me look at my watch and I'll prove it to you. Let me take a look. Oh, yes. You're a whole hour early. Yes, don't go away. Oh, no, don't go away. You don't have to leave. Oh, no, that's quite all right. You stay around a little bit, and we'll have some fun here in a little while before the doors officially open and the folks come around. Let me introduce myself. My name is Kangaroo. Kangaroo, Captain Kangaroo. Eh, Captain? Right there. I'm the keeper here of the treasure house. Why do they call me Kangaroo? Well, that's pretty easy to see. Look at this right here, you see? See the great big pockets I've got? Look at them. Just loaded down.
He's been Clarabelle the Clown, Corky the Clown, Tinker the Toyman, and Captain Kangaroo, but he's much more than a preschool idol. Recently, Bob Keeshan testified before the Federal Trade Commission on the state of children's television, and they took him very seriously. We'll be back in a moment. We'll tell you about tomorrow night, and that's next year on TV4's Evening Magazine. Marty, it never hurts to give out information twice, so tell us again, what's that phone number?
The phone number at WATD is 8344400, and that's down in Marshfield. And what's remarkable about that is they use that sideband of the FM signal, which most people use to make a lot of money, and they're using it to provide a real good service. And we've got an interesting service for people who need it tomorrow evening.
And especially for the kids who are probably right now gathered around the TV set because they want to see the captain. We're going to have a story tomorrow about children going to the hospital and a very unique way of preparing them for what is sometimes very painful and hard to understand surgery. We're going to meet a puppet therapist. Her name is Susan Lynn, and she uses puppets to let children express their feelings and to also explain to them what it's like to be in the hospital and why they're there. And it's a very honest approach to necessary medical care for kids, and it's a great story. We'll have that tomorrow, as well as be in the home department with Dave Maynard. He's got some interesting ways to prepare spinach, and Maggie Letvin has some exercises for women who are pregnant.
Ron Robbins looking for an evening best bet for bait, and we will go to a most unusual event. It is a rattlesnake roundup outside Sweetwater, Texas. Hunters of rattlesnakes go out and get them by the hundreds. In fact, 6,000 pounds of rattlesnakes were gathered. Then they eat them and show them off. It's bizarre. It really is. It's only in the state of Texas that they do things like that, and we'll show it to you tomorrow.
Up here we do it with clams. Anyway, hope you can join us.
Have a good evening.